What's going on, everyone? Back for another KBO breakdown. Hope you guys all had a good day yesterday. It was a great day on Draftkings, scored over 150 there. FanDuel missed out by a bit, but Draftkings has been on another level recently. Make that 6 straight wins. If we win tonight, sweep the entire week on Draftkings. So let's keep it going today. Before we get started, I appreciate if you hit the like on the video and subscribe if you have not already. Today, we have some very high totals in some of these games. Got the Vegas totals already for tonight. Dewson has a 7-run total today, highest ever so far so far this year. Facing off against David Buchanan, they look like a top stack, and then Kim Moon Heroes also look like a top stack, who came through yesterday for us, Ha-Seong Kim and Lee in the outfield. So definitely we'll go right back to those two stacks as the top on the slate, and then I kind of like the Dinos and the Kia side as like players that you can mix in. So those are the hitters stacks that I like for pitching wise. We have Mike Wright at 8,900 facing off against the Eagles here. He is probably the best pitcher on the slate, or if not, he's the second best. But I would say he's probably the best pitcher. Has great strikeout stuff facing off against the weakest team in terms of power, in terms of a lineup right now, the Hanover Eagles. So he should be able to cruise in this one. He also does throw over 100 pitches or gets you close to 100 every time out, which is nice to see. Some pitchers get pulled at like 80 pitches or 83 pitches. So the fact that Wright is going very deep into the game is a great sign for his fantasy value, obviously. All right, next. Second pitcher that I like is William Cuevas. I think you can play him at 7,800. Also think you can play Minwoo Lee. Lee's a little bit riskier just because he can get into walk trouble, and also he can get pulled at like 80 pitches. Last two starts didn't throw more than 83 pitches, so a little bit riskier, I would say. I think Cuevas is pretty safe just because he is going about 100 pitches when he's pitching well. He can go pretty deep into the game because he has not walked very many. He has good strikeout stuff, and this Twins team is a pretty good lineup, especially a couple hitters like Ramos. But after you get through like the top five, the bottom half is pretty weak. So I think he can definitely get the job done. Looks like a nice solid pairing with Mike Wright. So stacks, definitely KIW, definitely Dewson, looking great. The Dinos and then Kia are the 4 stacks that I like the most. At first base, got to go Jose Fernandez today. Just highest total Dewson has had so far this year. They have a solid lineup, even though they're missing for a couple who's placed on the injured list, so he's probably going to miss a couple more games at least. But Fernandez is really raking the ball right now, back-to-back 3-hit games. Great potential to have another big game tonight against David Buchanan, who doesn't strike very many guys out. Plays to contact, and has given up some serious home run issues so far in his limited starts. He's already given up, I think, 4 home runs. Already given up 4 home runs in just 18 innings, just 11 strikeouts too. So after a good appearance in the first outing, uh, he had a good game in the middle against Kim Moon, but 2 bad outings sandwiched in between that one. So definitely like the Deuce and hitters. They are just very good. At shortstop, Ha-Seong Kim, what a great player he is. Told you guys in many of the videos recently that he's going to get back on track and bounce back, and he's taken over. He's gone back to his original self. Got off to a slow start, had an ankle injury, missed 1 game, even though he pitched hit in that game too, so barely missed any time, and came right back out and continued to crush. So we all know how good of a hitter he is if you look at his recent years. This guy has a chance to play in the major leagues, just with the power and speed combination that he possesses, and a shortstop. Definitely has the highest ceiling out of any shortstop on the slate. In the outfield, a cheap guy on Kimoon that looks pretty good is 46 or 4,500 for Jung Ho Lee. Just a very, very quality hitter. He puts the ball in play, rarely strikes out, and he also has some power as well with 3 home runs already on the year. It's a great, great spot for Kimoon. They are facing off against a very bad pitcher. ERA above 7 so far. Last year gave up 10 bombs in just 97 innings. This year he has just 1 more strikeout and only 6 strikeouts in 15 innings, which is very, very bad. So definitely think that the heroes are like a top stack today, and Jung Ho Lee is looking very nicely today. don't know why it keeps refreshing, but go ahead and plug everybody back in. Wright, Cuevas, Fernandez, first base, Kim, shortstop, Lee, 4,600, and then 4,500, and then last but not least, the last hitter that I like is in the outfield, and he goes by the name of Jiwan Na at just 3,300. This is for the Kia side. I'm probably not going to be stacking them, but maybe a one-off from Kia looks good just because a guy like Na is very, very cheap. He has power. For a guy that has this much power at just 3,300 is definitely very appealing. If you want to look out at his recent years, he's been a pretty good hitter. Definitely has the power, and that price tag is just very, very cheap. They're also facing off against a pretty bad pitcher, Pinto, who has yet to give up a bomb this year, but he's given up a ton of hits. Rarely strikes people out as well. But Yuan Na's been batting cleanup recently. Last year, only played 56 games, had an injury. So if you scratch that, you see the power that he possesses: 26, 27, 25 home runs a year before that. And doesn't really steal bases, but definitely has a power. But look at the slugging percentages. To get him at 3,300 in a great spot, definitely will take some of that savings. Over on FanDuel, the hitters are the same stacks that I like. Definitely will be stacking Doosan and Kimoon, maybe mixing in some Kia and Dinos hitters. Pitching wise, if you can definitely make it work, then I think you could definitely pay all the way up for Mike Wright here at 27 bucks. You could play Cuevas if you want at 25, and then maybe you could take a shot on $23 for the Kimoon pitcher. Infield, Ha-Seong Kim is very cheap, $13 for the matchup and upside that he possesses. Definitely will be a guy that I try to prioritize on FanDuel for sure. We have a cheap hitter on the Doosan side. Jaewon Oh will probably continue to hit in a nice spot in the batting order with as long as J.O. misses some time. $7. Yesterday he batted, I think, 5th in the lineup. So right in front of or right behind some really, really good hitters that will most likely be on base today. We'll have plenty of opportunities to get some RBIs for him. So yesterday he batted, 5th, right behind Choi and Kim. So looking like a very, very nice guy that you can play today, especially on FanDuel at just $7. And then last but not least, Jose Fernandez will try to pay up for him too at $18. Just definitely has a slate breaking upside. If he goes off today, which is definitely looking pretty likely, or at least having a good game at least, the way he's been playing in the matchup. $18 is definitely expensive, but there are some value that you can sprinkle in there, even on his own team like J.O. to make it work. So that is the plays that I like for our today or tonight's KBO action. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You can hit the like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.